In the heart of modern engineering history, a monumental achievement has just taken place. China, a nation already known for its breathtaking infrastructure feats, has pushed the limits of what's possible once again. This time, it's not about how long the highway is or even how quickly it was completed, though 157 kilometers in record time is impressive enough. What makes this achievement stand apart is the fact that not a single human hand directly built it. From start to finish, this highway is the creation of autonomous machines. Picture a vast stretch of open land, and instead of hundreds or thousands of workers in fluorescent vests, you see fleets of driverless trucks hauling materials, robotic excavators shaping the earth, and self-operating pavers laying the asphalt with laser precision. It feels like a scene pulled from the future, a future that has just become reality. Every phase of this project was executed by AI-driven systems. The planning was handled by powerful algorithms capable of analyzing terrain, climate, and traffic demands with microscopic detail. Once the blueprints were locked in, autonomous drones took to the skies, mapping the site in real time. Ground robots prepared the foundation, carefully grading the soil and ensuring every angle and curve met exact specifications. Then came the convoys of self-driving trucks, moving in perfect synchronization. They delivered the materials without ever taking a break, recharging at automated stations designed for non-stop workflow. Massive robotic arms poured and leveled concrete, guided not by human supervisors but by AI sensors that scanned every millimeter, adjusting instantly for maximum stability and durability. The result was a road surface smoother than what most human crews could achieve. It wasn't just about speed, it was about precision and safety. Human error, fatigue, and miscommunication are among the biggest challenges in large-scale construction. By removing those factors entirely, the project maintained a flawless pace. And because no human labor was exposed to heavy machinery, extreme weather, or potential accidents, the entire build was completed without a single injury. This is more than just a road. It's a proof of concept that the future of construction could be fully autonomous. Imagine skyscrapers built with no scaffolding crews, bridges assembled with no human welders, or entire cities emerging without a single laborer on site, only teams of engineers remotely monitoring the process. The 157-kilometer highway now stands as a symbol of what's to come. It connects key regions, reduces travel times, and supports economic growth, but it also represents a turning point in human history. It's not just about replacing manual labor, it's about redefining what's possible when human ingenuity and machine precision merge seamlessly. For some, this shift raises big questions. Will machines take over every job? Will human workers be left behind? Or will this technology free us from dangerous, repetitive, and exhausting labor so we can focus on higher-value innovation? The answers aren't simple, but one thing is certain: the way we build is changing forever. The world is watching China's highway with fascination and maybe a little unease. Some see it as the dawn of a golden era of efficiency, others worry about the social impact. But whichever side of the debate you're on, it's impossible to deny the sheer audacity of this achievement. This was once the stuff of science fiction. Today, it's asphalt reality. And if a 157-kilometer highway can be completed entirely by machines, what's next? Perhaps a fully automated transcontinental rail system. Or cities that construct themselves while their future residents are still deciding to move in. The possibilities are staggering, and this moment is the spark that could ignite them all. One thing is clear: the road to the future has just been built, and it doesn't need a driver. The first signs of this project began quietly. Satellite images caught glimpses of large autonomous machines moving in strange, coordinated patterns across a barren landscape. Locals who passed nearby could see towering cranes swinging with robotic precision, unmanned trucks gliding silently in convoys, and drones hovering overhead, capturing every inch of progress. At first, people didn't believe it. The idea that a massive highway could be constructed with zero on-site human operators seemed too far-fetched. But slowly, as the days passed, videos emerged on social media. You could see a mechanical ballet unfolding, machines communicating with each other in real time, adjusting their speed, their routes, and even their workload based on the weather and the terrain. Rain? Not a problem. The AI system simply recalculated grip and pouring schedules, ensuring the asphalt cured perfectly despite the moisture. Sudden temperature drops? Sensors embedded in the pavers adjusted the heat levels to prevent cracks from forming. There was no shouting, no chaos, no hurried corrections, only a calm, calculated process moving like clockwork. The sheer coordination was mesmerizing. Imagine dozens of dump trucks arriving at the exact moment they were needed, never early, never late. Picture robotic arms moving in unison, laying down perfect layers of road material, each millimeter within tolerance. It was almost eerie, like watching a hive of mechanical insects, each with a role, each perfectly synchronized with the rest. And perhaps the most incredible part? This wasn't just a collection of machines following a preset plan. This was a living, adapting system. The AI running the project could detect problems before they happened, predicting equipment malfunctions, rerouting materials around obstacles, and even spotting potential structural weaknesses before a single crack could form. In traditional construction, these issues might cost days or weeks to fix. Here, they were solved in minutes. People started to gather near safe viewing areas just to watch it happen. Families came with children, pointing at the driverless trucks and whispering about how this is the future. Engineers from other cities traveled to witness it firsthand, trying to understand how the integration of robotics, AI, and real-time data had reached this level. By the halfway point, it was clear this wasn't just an experiment, it was a declaration. A demonstration that autonomous construction wasn't coming in the future. It was already here. And it could scale. The night work was perhaps the most surreal. Under bright artificial lights, the machines moved with the same flawless precision as in daylight. No need for rest breaks, no complaints, no overtime pay, just pure, unbroken productivity. From dusk till dawn, asphalt rolled out in endless black ribbons under the moonlight. The cost savings were just as remarkable as the speed. By removing human crews from the on-site equation, expenses on labor, insurance, and safety measures dropped dramatically. But more importantly, the finished road exceeded quality standards by a wide margin. Not a single misaligned joint, not a single uneven section. Smoothness tests showed performance at the very top of the global scale. News outlets around the world picked up the story, calling it everything from the rise of the machine workforce to a glimpse at humanity's automated future. Politicians praised the achievement as a model for how technology could drive growth without compromising safety. Critics, however, warned that mass adoption of such systems could cause a wave of job losses unlike anything in modern history. But for the engineers behind the project, this wasn't about replacing people, it was about setting a new standard. Roads like this could be built in remote areas, in dangerous terrains, or even in disaster zones where human crews would be at risk. Imagine deploying a fleet of machines to rebuild a hurricane-destroyed highway within days, restoring critical supply lines before human aid workers even arrive. The completed 157-kilometer stretch now stands gleaming under the sun, cutting through the landscape like a precise stroke of black ink across a page. It's more than just a way to get from point A to point B, it's a landmark in technological progress. Every car that drives across it is, in a way, driving over the blueprint for the infrastructure of tomorrow. And yet, this is only the beginning. Already, the same technology is being considered for building high-speed rail lines, massive cargo ports, and even space launch facilities. If machines can build roads without humans, what's to stop them from building entire colonies on other planets? This project may be finished, but the story of autonomous construction is just starting to unfold. What we've seen here is not the final destination, it's the first mile marker on a road that might stretch farther than we can imagine. The ripple effects of this achievement are spreading far beyond China's borders. In boardrooms and government offices worldwide, decision-makers are rethinking the way infrastructure will be built in the coming decades. Countries that once struggled to complete large projects due to labor shortages or high costs are suddenly seeing a new path forward, one paved, quite literally, by machines. Japan is already in talks with several Chinese tech firms to adapt this autonomous construction system for earthquake-resistant roads and bridges. In the Middle East, nations envision entire smart cities rising from the desert, with autonomous fleets working around the clock to turn blueprints into reality at speeds never seen before. Even in remote parts of Africa, where logistics and safety have long hindered development, leaders are exploring how this technology could open new trade routes and connect isolated communities. The global construction industry is worth trillions, and it's been one of the slowest to change, relying on the same basic methods for decades. But this 157-kilometer highway has shown that automation can revolutionize the process from the ground up. No delays due to weather, no labor strikes, no miscommunication between teams, just an unbroken chain of efficiency from planning to completion. The AI systems at the heart of this project are not just construction bots following orders, they are learning machines. Every kilometer built teaches them something new: how to work more efficiently, how to adapt to different terrains, how to predict the unexpected. This means that the next project will be even faster, cheaper, and more precise. It's an exponential curve of improvement. Critics still raise valid concerns. What happens when an entire sector is automated? How do we transition millions of workers into new roles? China's engineers counter this by pointing out that human oversight is still critical. Humans design the algorithms, program the machines, and monitor the progress. The role of the worker is shifting from physical labor to high-level control, design, and problem-solving. And there's another layer to this story: environmental impact. Traditional road construction can be wasteful, with excess materials, fuel-guzzling machinery, and high emissions. In this autonomous model, AI optimizes every delivery, every cut, every layer of asphalt. Trucks run on electric or hybrid systems, drones eliminate unnecessary trips, and precise planning reduces waste to near zero. This 157-kilometer stretch isn't just a technological marvel, it's also significantly greener than most highways built today. But perhaps the most fascinating detail is how this project could change the psychology of construction itself. For centuries, building something massive has been associated with sweat, noise, and chaos. This highway was built with silence, precision, and calm. It shifts the perception of construction from something labor-intensive to something almost elegant, a symphony of machines working in harmony. The finished road has already been opened to the public, and drivers are reporting an unusually smooth ride. Freight companies are praising the route for reducing vehicle wear and tear, while regional officials are celebrating the reduced travel times between key economic zones. International observers are calling it the first megastructure of the machine age. Some say it's the biggest step forward in construction since the invention of the steam shovel. Others believe it's the prototype for the roads that will one day snake across Mars or the Moon. And China isn't stopping here. Leaked documents hint at an even more ambitious project: an automated high-speed railway spanning thousands of kilometers, designed to be completed in less than half the time it would take using traditional methods. Rumors also point to large-scale automated bridge construction, massive underground tunnels dug entirely by AI-driven machines, and even floating offshore platforms assembled without human crews. It's hard to overstate the significance of what's happening. We may be living in the last era where humans physically build the world around them. In the near future, we could be the architects, the designers, the dreamers, while machines turn those dreams into reality, brick by brick, beam by beam, road by road. The 157-kilometer highway is more than a stretch of asphalt, it's a turning point in history. A point where the tools we created stopped being just tools and started becoming independent builders. It's the foundation, not just for cars to travel on, but for the next chapter of human civilization. The seeds of the next wave have already been planted. Inside China's most advanced research labs, the same brains behind the 157-kilometer highway are reprogramming their AI systems for environments far more hostile than Earth. They're not just thinking about deserts, mountains, or polar regions, they're thinking about space. Imagine fleets of autonomous machines landing on the Moon or Mars, unfolding like origami into a network of builders, surveyors, and haulers. Without a single astronaut stepping onto the surface, these machines could prepare entire bases, laying landing pads, building radiation-shielded habitats, and paving the first interplanetary highways. All of it monitored from mission control on Earth, just as this 157-kilometer road was overseen from a command center thousands of kilometers away. The highway project proved that machines could work flawlessly under constant feedback from AI, adjusting in real time to unpredictable conditions. In space, Those conditions might be dust storms on Mars or extreme lunar temperature shifts. But the technology doesn't flinch, it adapts. Every inch of that road in China was a training exercise, a data set for the next great leap. And here's where it gets even more ambitious. Engineers are talking about autonomous construction in the oceans, building floating cities or underwater transport tunnels without ever risking a diver's life. The machines could operate in the crushing depths for months at a time, never tiring, never making a miscalculation due to human fatigue. Back on Earth, the expansion of autonomous construction is already accelerating. Several Chinese provinces are preparing to roll out fully automated road maintenance systems. Instead of waiting for potholes to appear, AI drones will scan the roads daily, dispatching repair bots that fix tiny imperfections before they grow into damage. Drivers may never again experience a bumpy ride caused by neglect. Globally, a shift in priorities is beginning. Governments are calculating how many years and how much taxpayer money they could save by transitioning to fully automated building projects. Some analysts predict that by 2040, more than half of all new roads, bridges, and large structures could be built without a single worker on site. But this transformation isn't without its cultural impact. For thousands of years, construction has been a human endeavor. It's been a symbol of human ambition, strength, and skill. To see it handled entirely by machines is both awe-inspiring and unsettling. There's a strange silence to it, a beauty, yes, but also a reminder that the old world is fading. Yet, if you ask the engineers who made the 157-kilometer highway possible, they'll tell you that this is not the end of human involvement, it's a new beginning. They see a future where human creativity is unleashed on a scale never before possible. Where ideas that once seemed too big, too dangerous, or too expensive can finally be built. Think about the Great Wall of China. It took centuries to complete, with countless lives lost in its construction. Now imagine a structure just as grand, maybe even larger, built in a fraction of the time, without risking a single life. That's the promise of what we've just witnessed. The 157-kilometer highway is already a piece of history, but it's also a prototype. Every nation, every city, every visionary architect is now staring at it and wondering, if this can be done here, what else can be done anywhere? This is not just a road. It's the first chapter of an entirely new era of civilization, one where the builders of our world aren't flesh and blood, but steel, circuits, and algorithms. And as strange as it sounds, those machines might just carry our species further than we've ever dreamed. Because if a road in China can be built without human hands, maybe, just maybe, the path to the stars will be built the same way. The camera glides slowly over the flawless stretch of the 157-kilometer highway, the morning sun reflecting off its smooth surface like a sheet of polished black glass. The sound of wind hums in the background, but there's no rumble of engines, no shouts of workers, just silence. Then, as the shot rises higher, the road begins to curve and stretch across the landscape, weaving through valleys, cutting across rivers, and vanishing into the horizon like a ribbon leading into the future. In the distance, you see what built it, not human silhouettes, but sleek machines resting after their monumental task. Driverless trucks lined up like soldiers in formation, excavators powered down, their mechanical arms folded neatly, and drones landing gracefully on charging pads. They are not tired. They are simply waiting for the next command. Cut to a dimly lit control room, screens glowing with maps, live camera feeds, and endless streams of data. Engineers, calm, focused, watch from ergonomic chairs, sipping tea while algorithms run at lightning speed. On one screen, a simulation of the next project is already loading, another highway, longer this time, with bridges and tunnels, winding through difficult terrain. The AI has already calculated the exact number of machines, materials, and hours needed. It's not a guess. It's a guarantee. Then the scene shifts, an imagined glimpse into the decades ahead. The same autonomous convoys rolling across the dusty plains of Mars, laying down the first interplanetary road. Solar arrays and habitats rising in the distance, all assembled by machines designed to work where humans cannot survive for long. These aren't just roads anymore. They are lifelines, the first veins of a living, breathing colony on another world. Back on Earth, the future takes a different form. Massive ocean platforms bob gently on the waves, serving as entire floating cities. Below the surface, automated submarines weld and seal underwater tunnels, connecting continents without the need for ships. Skyscrapers grow in record time, their glass facades installed by robotic arms that never miss a millimeter. And through it all, the origin point remains the same, a 157-kilometer highway in China that proved to the world that human ambition, paired with machine precision, can shatter the limits of what we thought possible. The final shot is from high above the planet. Earth rotates slowly, city lights glowing in intricate patterns. Roads, rail lines, and bridges form delicate threads connecting humanity's great works. Some were built by human hands, but more and more are being crafted by tireless machines. The narrator's voice softens. One road was all it took to prove the world had changed. And now, the road ahead belongs to those who dare to build without limits. A soft hum of machinery lingers for a moment before silence. The montage begins with archival-style footage of the earliest autonomous construction experiments, small, awkward robots laying bricks, early prototypes of self-driving dump trucks navigating cautiously around a test site. Grainy video, simple movements, almost clumsy. Then the imagery accelerates. The machines grow sleeker, faster, and smarter. Self-driving trucks begin moving in perfect convoys. Excavators swivel with seamless grace, digging and filling with mechanical precision. Asphalt pavers glide forward like massive, tireless printers, laying down road in unbroken lines of perfection. Cut to the 157-kilometer Chinese highway project in full swing. The sky is dotted with drones buzzing in flawless formation, scanning, mapping, and transmitting real-time data to a command center miles away. From above, the movement on the ground looks almost choreographed, like a dance of steel and silicon. The music swells as the montage transitions into the near future. We see autonomous fleets working on remote mountaintops, carving roads into cliff faces without a single human exposed to danger. In vast deserts, machines work under a blazing sun, their solar panels drinking in energy to power the relentless pace. In frozen polar regions, snow-resistant bots lay insulated roadbeds over ice fields, connecting isolated research stations for the first time. Then the scene takes a leap forward, into visions of the mid-21st century. Orbital footage shows cargo landers touching down on the moon. Within hours, they unfold into construction swarms, rolling out landing pads, erecting protective domes, and laying the first gray roads across the pale lunar dust. On Mars, thin, copper-red highways stretch between habitats and solar farms, built entirely by robots that arrived years before the first human settlers. From the first stone tools to skyscrapers piercing the clouds, building has always been the measure of our ambition. But now, the builders themselves are changing. They don't rest. They don't tire. They don't stop. And with every project, they learn. The montage quickens. Cities rise from nothing in weeks, oceanic megastructures bloom on the waves, massive tunnels stretch beneath continents. The machines no longer just follow orders, they predict needs before they are spoken, reshaping the world proactively. Finally, the imagery slows again. We return to that first autonomous achievement, the 157-kilometer highway, gleaming under the sunlight. The camera drifts along its surface until the horizon fades into the glow of a star-filled sky. One road led to another, and then, to all roads. We thought we were just building highways. But we were paving the future. A faint metallic hum fades with it. The outro opens with the faint echo of wind across an empty plain. Slowly, the camera drifts down toward that flawless 157-kilometer highway, a ribbon of black perfection against the green and gold of the countryside. No cars. No trucks. Just the road, stretching endlessly forward. We've always dreamed of building bigger, faster, stronger, but dreams have limits when they rely on human hands alone. This road was the first to break that limit. The shot widens. You see the curve of the earth now, the road just a thin mark on the surface. The image fades into a network of glowing lines, roads, railways, shipping routes, and air corridors, all spreading like veins across the planet. Some pulse with human lights, others with the cold, efficient glow of machines. The 157 kilometers that changed everything didn't just connect two cities. They connected the past to the future. they proved that our creations can create for us and with us. The Great Pyramids rising stone by stone, the Great Wall snaking across mountains, steel beams swinging into place for the Empire State Building, and finally, autonomous machines laying the Chinese highway with mathematical precision. The parallel is clear: every generation finds new ways to build, but this is the first time the builder is not human. The music deepens, slow and resonant, as the camera moves into space. Earth is a glowing sphere, wrapped in an intricate web of light. Beyond it, faint lines stretch outward, toward the moon, toward Mars, toward the stars. One day, these roads won't just connect cities. They'll connect worlds. And when that day comes, we'll remember where it began, with 157 kilometers of perfection, built without a single human hand. The image fades to black. The last thing you hear is a faint metallic click, like a machine starting up, before silence takes over. We are witnessing the birth of an age where the builders no longer sleep, no longer tire, no longer falter. The question is not if this future will come, but whether we are ready for it. If you want to keep seeing where this road leads, make sure you subscribe. Share this video so more people can see the scale of what's unfolding. And tell me, what would you trust machines to build for you? This is moving faster than most people realize. By the time you hear about the next project, it might already be finished. Help spread the word, share this video. Hit subscribe so you see the next step before it's too late to understand it. And comment below, should humans still have a hand in the foundations of our future? The next project is already under construction. Somewhere, right now, machines are building something no one has seen yet. And when it's revealed, it could change everything. Stay with us. Subscribe, share, and comment what you think it might be. Because the moment it's complete, you'll want to be the first to know.